First, I choose a law case about the voting right and the election. In the south of United States, in Alabama, in the city of Mobile, voters elect 3 commissioners who exercise all legislative, executive, and administrative power in the city. A class action of the black community of Mobile was brought against the election system of the commissioners because they believe that the system unfairly dilutes the voting strength of black citizens, and so he violates the 14th and 15th Amendment. That's the reason of the class action against the city of Mobile and the commissioners in function in name of all black people of Mobile. There is a controversy because in this case we wonder about the election system of the city and probably of the other states who have their own election system and their own district division of states. Also, this case put in question the election process, and finally we can say that there is a controversy because we wonder about the voting strengths of black citizens in general in the election process. The 16th and 17th are refreshed because we can see in these years that the United States come out losing from the Vietnam War in the 1974. They know two oil price shocks in 1973 and 1979, but in the same years of the first oil price shock, they know also the procedure of impeachment of the President Nixon in 1973, and the Americans see the emerging movement of Black Power in the 60s and 70s. It's a movement for the civil rights of black people. So as we can see, there is a tense atmosphere in the United States at this time. In 1911, Mobile decided to adopt a government based on commissioners who each run a separate executive department of the city. The system gave the majority to the white communities, so that's why in the 1970 class action was filed. This is the district court who hears the case first. The district court concludes that the black people vote without hindrance. However, the district court judged that the electoral systems violate the 15th Amendment and discriminate the black people in violation of the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. Finally, the district court orders that the commission be dissolved and replaced by a mayor and a council elected in the single-member district. But this case didn't stop to the district court because there was an appeal. The federal court appeal confirms the judgment of the district court in its integrity and says that the black people was discriminated. But the city of Mobile was disagree with the judgment, and Mobile petitioned for a right of certiorari. So as we can see in the case, Bolden or black community was the plaintiff who engaged a class action against the city of Mobile. So Mobile was the defendant and Bolden the plaintiff. But when Mobile petitioned for a right of certiorari, Mobile became the petitioner and Bolden was the respondent. The US Supreme Court concluded that the black communities register and vote without hindrance. The US Supreme Court found that the lower court has erred in finding that the 15th Amendment was abridged because the racial discrimination is necessary is a condition to break the 15th Amendment. It was a decision of the US Supreme Court, so now let's look at the argument of the 6 judges or agree with the decision. In this case law, we can see that 6 judges on 9 defend that the 15th Amendment was not violated. The judges in favor are the Judge Porter Stewart, the Chief Justice Warren Burger, the Judges Harry Blackman, the Judge Lewis Powell, the Judge William Rehnquist, and finally the last John Paul Stevens. They believe that the 15th Amendment was not violated because to them, the 15th Amendment didn't give up the right to elect a black candidate but prohibit only deliberately discriminatory denial or aggravation of their freedom to vote because of the race, color, or condition prior of servitude. The US Supreme Court has also concluded that the proof failed to demonstrate that the city and the commissioners has designed or used a device to increase the racial discrimination, and it's necessary to have an essential evidence to prove the violation of the equal protection. Next, Supreme Court considers that the political group didn't have the right to claim representation independently of the right of individuals to vote on an equal basis. And another argument is that the Equal Protection Clause didn't require national representation as an imperative of the political organization. If clause confers substantial rights to participate of the election on an equal basis with the other voters, this right doesn't protect any political group from electoral defeat. Because the city of Mobile is a unitary electoral district and the commission are conducted at large, there can be no claims that the one person, one vote principle has been violated. After this case, another case that Durban against Jingles, the Supreme Court put forward three conditions that the minority group must meet to prove the violation of Article 2. First, the minority group must be important and geographically concentrated to form a majority in a single-member electoral district. The minority group must be politically cohesive, meaning that the members generally vote for the same candidates. Finally, in absence of the special circumstance, the combined vote of the white majority must usually exceed the vote of the preferred candidate of the minority in question. So we can see that the case of Bolden against City of Mobile have consequences on the legal aspect, and it helped for the future to have precision of what we have to prove in case of discrimination of joint vote of different communities in the same state. Thank you for your time.